Hi, Carol. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Oh, doing fabulous, magnificent, like Joseph says.
Magnificent. That's great.
So, the Neuro Duo is here to talk about something really important since the new year has started, January 2023. Carol, tell me, how's January going for you?
January's going really well. It's basically full speed ahead, right back into it since the Christmas New Year break. So going really well and looking forward to an exciting year of change and development.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. So, were you able to make a goal, like something to do with the future?
Yes, I very definitely my goal is around changing circumstances. I've progressed over a period of years and realigned some of my goals and requirements, and I'm going right, passionate, absolutely passionate about coaching, helping people changing the world one brain at a time, basically.
Yeah.
But that's
Wow.
to shift my personal circumstances. But I'm really at a stage where I want to reach out and help others.
Mm-hmm.
I am a very big believer in everyone should have an equal playing field.
Yes. And last time I checked, you have made a new page and you have a website too now. So please tell us about
Yes,
it.
yes, I do. Igniting Life Steps, and it's taken a little while to get going, but really excited because it represents who I am at heart, a combination of the neuroencoding, brain health, and the John Maxwell coaching. So, really excited about what I can bring to other people.
Nice, nice. How do we reach out? How do we get to your what's your website called and how do we get there?
So, my website's called Igniting Life Steps. So, it's the www.ignitinglifesteps.com.au. And you can also reach me through Twitter and Facebook as well. If you look me up as Igniting Life Steps or as Carol Griffin.
Excellent. Awesome. So I also made a page on Facebook. It's a private
Yeah,
group. It's called
fabulous.
Reprogram Yourself for Success and Fulfillment. Because, when I was making it, the thought behind it was everybody's running after success. Everybody wants
Yes,
to be successful. But then
yes,
let's not leave out fulfillment to you. I need to feel content. I need to feel like I did something and I served. So I was like, okay, so it can't be reprogram yourself for success. It has there, the fulfillment has to be there. So, when you do little things and they bring you that joy and you feel that joy inside you that you've helped somebody, or in your case, Carol, you've transformed one brain, one at a time. So yeah, it brings us that joy, the joy of
that's
coaching, and it's
that's
so
the
important.
key.
And it's
That's the
important.
key.
Yeah, and I want our viewers and our audience to know
Yeah.
that we're doing this. We're putting out complementary content, stuff that you can avail if you're not yet ready to invest heavily in yourself. Then you can still avail whatever Carol is putting out, whatever I'm putting out. We're there to help you get started. And and while I say that, Carol, I want to bring up a picture that I found, and I thought that I'll share with you, and we'll have a small discussion on it. How about that?
That'd be great. Fabulous.
So, is this visible to everyone? I think is. Can you see this, Carol?
Yes, yes, I can see the picture. Two circles
Sure.
intersecting.
Yep, it's a Venn diagram, Venn diagram, and there's a question on top. Where are you living? Past, present, and future. And so what you see below past is all that you might experience. You might experience that that could be your trauma, that could be something that pulls your energy down,
Yeah.
something you don't want to relive. Okay. And then you'll see a few words under present. Present is where the past and future circles are overlapping. So
Yeah.
so these things, this is what you really want to have, while you're present in the present moment. And then there's obviously future, and some things that you need to know if you're doing are regarding your future. And as coaches, we can help you identify these things. So, Carol, why don't you tell me, where are you living, girl?
Well, I can tell you there were some circumstances in the past that certainly reflect very highly on the past heading and the part of the circle.
Mhm.
I'm probably transitioning in the middle. I would love to say ideally that, I had all the clarity, acceptance, joy of being, understanding, inner peace and gratitude, but I'm a firm believer that takes time, and that's a goal to aim for. So it's a combination. I've certainly received a lot of clarity in the last 12 months.
Mhm.
I'm an acceptance, very much acceptance of where I'm at the moment, but wanting to progress further.
Mhm.
Gratitude, yes, still growing in that field at the moment. Inner peace, absolutely. And that's taken a long time, but you really need that to progress
Yes.
forward. And if you don't, that's going to be one of the biggest things to keep you in the past.
Mhm.
Um, and I love some of these future aspects. I do tend to have a little bit of, I used to more so fear of the unknown, not so much now because, again, through development and self-development, I've learned how to manage those requirements and learn that your brain likes to do a lot of things just on its own. The moment you start and think, it takes off.
Mhm.
Um, Overthinking what if scenarios occasionally,
Mhm.
not thinking worst case, no. And I think, in some ways, the feeling anxious for what is to come,
Yeah.
that's not necessarily always a bad anxiousness. That can be sort of a mixture of anxiousness and excitement about what's to come. Let's work out the details. I like to work out details about what's coming in the future.
So
So,
I would say that the way you've trained your brain, you want to be prepared.
yes, absolutely. I'm very much a planner, and when things happen and they're not planned, again, through experience, I've learned to sort of manage and work through or reassess and go, why? Why did I react that way? Because I wasn't aware of all the facts.
Yeah.
Um, and you can certainly have a lot more inner peace when you start to understand yourself, and when you can learn, as we've both learnt, Sana, some incredible techniques for just, the brain's in overload, just stop for a few minutes, what's happening. And it's so exciting because all of these aspects that we're sharing in this
Mm.
are elements of people's personalities, things that either stop them, can paralyze them, can cause confusion, self-denial, all sorts of things. And when you know how to shift it
Yeah.
with some support and coaching, it's just brilliant, the outcome that you can get to.
Yeah. Yeah. So I've also had my fair share of, stuff in the past where
Yeah.
it used to take me time to get out of that situation. Like, if I'm feeling low, I would sulk for a long while, or if
Yeah.
things didn't go according to plan, I would, feel sad. After my second child was born, I did go through postpartum depression, but being a doctor, I thought that, I can manage it easily. I
Yeah.
didn't manage it easily. I was not taking care of myself. And in hindsight, I was becoming more and more frustrated, wasn't working, was just full-time mom and working at home and doing home chores. And, the tiny voice, the inner critic, okay,
Yeah.
kept saying, you're wasting a good brain, you're wasting a good brain. Instead of, sometimes your internal talk, it can keep you in that sulking place.
Yes,
That's
absolutely.
that's what was happening with me, and for a very long time I was not able to become aware of it. And I also thought that taking help would be embarrassing,
Mm.
and acknowledging that I'm doing something wrong, even that was embarrassing at a point. So when you're a doctor, people expect you to help them, give them medicine, make them feel better, but doctors are the worst patients. Doctors are the worst patients. And I think that there comes a certain impatience with it. So having to understand that this all can be rewired. It is a part of me that can be changed. It
Yeah.
is something I'm going through which will not last. It is
Yes,
something that I can't control the circumstance, but I can certainly control the weather inside, you know.
that's right.
So
Yeah.
so what I first stopped doing was, mentioned right here at the very bottom, over analyzing things,
Amazing.
you know, because when you over analyze, you assume a lot.
Yeah.
So because of those assumptions, you only hurt yourself. So,
Yeah.
so what you end up doing is you replay the scenarios again and again. You relive your trauma. So I've done a bit of that. Not very proud of it. But what really jolted me was when my husband and my children, who love me dearly, started saying that I'm like a fire breathing dragon because of my anger, because I wasn't able to control my emotion. And so I got the opportunity to get trained in neuro linguistic programming. Opportunity because it presented itself. I did not work hard for it. It presented itself. I just took it. I took
Yeah.
it because God knows I so needed to, like do something, something for myself to get better. And so I did the first training, the basic practitioner, the basic coaching, the basic timeline therapy for myself to get
Yeah.
better. And this was a gift to me. And I praise my trainer a lot. His name is Arsalan Larik. He's an excellent trainer. He's Tad James trained, and Tad James is very famous in Australia. Okay,
Yeah.
so so Larik was amazing. He actually, every skill he taught me was like an eye opener. And the way I was using it, I was so confident about using it that, he was so confident that, Dr. Sana, you can do this. You got this. So it was good. It was good. And the entire batch, my entire batch, my bestie, Aisha Jabin, is also from the same batch. I had a wonderful batch. Some of us who really apply the
Yeah.
learnings are really
Yeah.
doing well, you know. So it's not just about absorbing the knowledge or learning the knowledge or taking what is being told, it's how you apply it. So that
Right.
was the
Yeah.
start of my personal development. And because of that, I stopped dwelling on what had happened. I started to focus more on my present state, how I was in that moment, how my thoughts were serving me in that moment. Of course, I had fear of the unknown. We call it anxiety. you know Everybody throws the word around without diagnosis. Oh, I have
Yeah.
anxiety. She gets anxious. Oh, she has social anxiety. She will not meet you. People are using these words, Carol. People are using these words as excuses for not doing things for themselves. Can you believe that?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And throwing words around like depression. Depression is a diagnosable condition. So, and you're not supposed to just live with it. You have to thrive with it. You have to learn to cope with it. You have to learn those skills, how to stop yourself from sulking for too long, how to stop yourself when you're starting to get sad and sadder. And, instead of going on a downward spiral, coaches can really help you stop, teach you neuroencoders can teach you the stop technique. And I did that, and I'll post about it too. I taught the stop technique at a gathering. It was good
Yep.
fun. So this is me. I you know what I say, Carol? I say, if you want to overthink the positive.
Yes,
If
not the negative, because the overthink the positive
Yes,
is going to encode the optimistic, the positive aspects of your life into you. And this is one of the key things that we've learned, is that really, if you sit and mull over a negative situation, everything you're doing around that is actually encoding into your system over a period of time that
mhm,
negativity. And the logic is, so then to switch to a more positive approach
mhm,
is going to take you a longer and more consistent
mhm.
capability to shift the negative out and
Exactly.
get the positive in. That's what happens. And so to, overthink the positive, or as they would say in John Maxwell terms, fail forward.
Yeah,
Do it, because at the end of the day, we're all on a voyage, whatever that voyage is. And, you know, you need to be the best you can be for yourself. And when you look back on some
improve.
of the experiences,
Hmm. And there has to be a goal. Like, Carol, my goal would be in every area of life, not just one. Why leave one area behind? Most
yeah,
people I come across, most people only talk about two areas as if there are two: work and home.
yeah,
Yeah. And they forget that there's fun and adventure, there's career is different from your finances, and your relationships. They matter a lot. Tony Robbins always says that the quality of your life depends on the quality of the relationships that you have. The very first relationship that you need to work on is the relationship with yourself. What are you doing for yourself?
absolutely.
So yeah, so I and so some maybe when I turn 59, I will go to Hawaii too, and I will invite you over.
By then, I'll be telling you where I've been at 60, Sada.
Yeah,
Still you'll still need to catch up. And I must admit, just on a quiet note, celebrating the 59th birthday in Hawaii was magnificent. And that was one of the big changes, because I'd finally got to a point of going, why can't I celebrate
yeah,
if I'm by myself? Why do I have to wait for the opportunity for someone to come along, or a friend to be available to travel with? Why can't I just do this myself? And you know what? I loved it. And I was so excited, with the biggest smile on my face. And I got to go and see a luau, which was one of the big things in Hawaii. And it was just magnificent. Other people around, fire dancers, learning the history of some of the islands, and the atmosphere, warm, balmy weather.
yeah,
Couldn't have asked for more. And I went, why have I waited 59 years to do this?
yeah. So you see, why I look up to it or look forward to it is because I saw you experiencing the joy of just being.
Yeah,
Yeah. And you
yeah.
celebrated yourself because you accepted the way you are, yourself. And your gratitude in that moment, yes, you were enjoying. And why not? And
Why not?
you're not alone by
No.
yourself.
There are lots of people, and it's lovely to have company. And I thrive on having company, some intellectual conversation and knowing people are around. But life is, people are busy. And so to detract from life by not experiencing things yourself is really only going to be detrimental to me in the long run.
Mhm.
And I've always wanted to go to Hawaii. I'd been to a conference in Las Vegas before that, and I went, you know what? I'm going to the conference. and I'm going to do my 59th birthday in Hawaii. So now the goal is, I haven't decided where, but 60s this year. And I've got to find somewhere equally as good, if not better. I have a few months to think about it, which is fabulous. And yeah, go from there. And I'm sure I'll make that a big one, because 60 seems to be a bit of a milestone.
Yes, 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 yes. So good luck with that. And how was this discussion for you? This was very. I felt connected. I feel like no matter where we are from, these are some basic things we experience, all of us. Not just you and I,
Absolutely.
Carol, the
Yep.
audience, whoever is listening to us, these are feelings and emotions and headspaces, states of being where all of us can be at any given time. You just need to know the right tools and techniques to come out of it and be in the present moment, be grateful, feel the joy of just being alive and being able to live on your terms. And when I say this, I want to say that anything and everything is possible. I'm reading
Yeah.
Limitless these days, so I keep saying be limitless. The only limit you put on yourself is,
Your
where you
brain.
cap it. Yeah. So,
Mm.
so go ahead, Carol. Please add to this. How was this for you, the discussion and everything?
It was good. It was good. I loved the conversation, and it's great to have something to reference and work towards and reference to. So it was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant, Sana.
So, I'm also looking at connecting with you again, the Neuro Duo will
Yes,
again with something more beautiful, something more to reflect on, and perhaps you guys can suggest us, and we look forward to answering your questions. If you have any questions, please post them in our comments. We will be posting this video on our respective Facebook groups as well, so you can connect with us there. And Carol, please do share your links so that whoever wants to can get in touch with you, and I'll post my links too. And Carol, you're also on
and I
Instagram.
want, sorry, I'm going to butt in.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
a bit
please
rude
do.
for the
Please do.
start of the year, but I just want to say, for everyone that's watching that, and whatever you're thinking, take the opportunity to reach out on this, because you won't be voyaging alone. We'll voyage with you, and it'll be great.
Yes, that we promise. Yeah, so with a big, huge smile on my face and yours,
Yay.
we'll take your leave and we will connect soon, and we'll announce it, or we'll post about when we're connecting next. And by then, if you have some topics that you want us to cover, we'll discuss those, and we can also come up with some tips and on how to do certain things, which will be exciting. So I look forward. Carol, you take care.
Fabulous.
I love our conversations, and we should connect often.
Absolutely. Thank you, Sana.
Thank you. Thank you. Take care. Bye bye.